And we're live. Hey everybody, it's Peter. I was going to do a recap and spoiler review from Friday's episode, which was season 5, episode 17, The Honeymoon. But I've been feeling out of sorts. I haven't been up to it, so I'm just going to do a quickie live thing. If anybody jumps in, I posted a couple of things on the Facebook groups. If they're going to come in, they're going to come in. If not, I'll just do it there and I'll post it later and we can catch up. So basically, again, we've got another three-part spoiler. Not three-part spoiler. We got a three-part episode. We got an A, a B, and a C story. Again, if you are new here, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. I am still trying to do vlog every day in April, which I think I'm slowing down because of, like I said, I had a bad few days. So I might get back on the wagon, I may not. Anyway, let's just talk about the episode. So the three stories are, we'll start with the A story. I'm calling it the A story, which is we got Yo-yo and FitzSimmons. They've found one of the locations, if you remember, excuse me. If you remember last episode, they said there were 3 places they were going to go check out, or if you're German, 3, because then you might start a bar fight if you're watching Tarantino movies. They end up in England at a deserted factory somewhere, and they think this is one of the HYDRA hideouts. They don't really know which one Coulson's hiding out, so that's their plan of action. The B story is Phil and Talbot. If you remember last episode, they got away using the HYDRA Cree transporter thingy, MacGuffin, and they end up some in the woods somewhere. And that's a place that Robin had a vision of and did a little, little crayon drawings. And Daisy and that team on that Quinjet, they're zipping around trying to find that triple mountain peak. And that's the other sort of. Actually, no, that's sort of part of the B story with Daisy and May and Deke trying to find Phil and Talbot. The C story I'll call is basically sort of the HYDRA perspective, where we're either cutting back to Hale, or we're cutting back to Ruby, or we're cutting back to Strucker, or all 3. And some of it is crossing over. Not so much in the A story with Yo-yo and FitzSimmons, but when we get so far in, and then we cut back to the HYDRA base, we've got Ruby kind of figured out that, oh, those guys must have used the transporter device. So next thing you know, she's in the woods hunting them down, got them cornered somewhere, figured, okay, she's about to. She's got her little Tron frisbees of death. And Quake Daisy shows up all of a sudden, does one of these, knocks her back on the tree, bit of a scuffle, and basically just tells the team, okay, get Coulson, get Talbot back to the Quinjet. I'm going to take care of this. And May's just like, no. And says, hey, get them to safety. I'm going to take care of this. Got a couple of quippy dialogues out of it, sort of, what do you call it? Ruby says, oh, I admired you, and I had a poster of you on my wall. And you know what? I don't want to be you. I want to beat you. So that was kind of some clever writing there. So I get a bit of a fight going on. That was a pretty good bit of kung fu fighting there between Daisy and Ruby, going bang, 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 bang in the woods. Don't ask me why. Of course, part of the story. Deke decides to come back. Somebody gave Deke a gun as well. And he thought, oh, I got Daisy's back. I'm going to help out. And he tries to shoot Ruby. And then who ends up showing? Oh, yeah, Hale ends up showing up with her goons, with the robo-goons, or the mechs, as they call them. And one of the goons shoots Deke. That's how he got shot. And, of course, then Daisy's got to save his ass, get him back to Quinjet, and they got to fly it back to the lighthouse to try to save him. Meanwhile, back at the lighthouse, Piper finds Mack locked in the little brig room that Fitz was in. And he says, how did that happen? Oh, they tricked me and blah, blah, blah. So, and then we're sort of cutting back. And then we're cutting back. So most of the cutting back is now. Actually, no, it still cuts back to the 3 locations. We've got the lighthouse. We've got the England base, and then we've got the headquarters for HYDRA. And actually, Ruby keeps jumping back in all the different places. So it sort of ties everything together, sort of keeps the thread going, excuse me. And when we cut back to England, The gang finds that there is some HYDRA equipment there. It is actually the chamber that they've been looking for. Kind of looks a little bit like the Cappy chamber from the first movie, where he was turned into the super soldier, same kind of design. But it ties into the equipment that they've got back at the main HYDRA base that we've seen everybody hanging out with the Captain Crunch on the cafeteria. So FitzSimmons and Yo-yo just taking upon themselves, okay, you know what? We can't let them use this. We don't know how it works. You know what? Let's just break the silly thing. So they're doing that. Ivanov shows up. Excuse me. And you got a confrontation going on there. Neat thing, too, we find out as well, a bit of a spoiler. Even though Yo-yo's got her new super arms, it doesn't work with her power. I guess they don't want to make her, like, invincible like she's been saying that she is. Because when she uses her speed power and the sort of, MacGuffin science-y thing that Fitz says, well, it's because your arms are trying to catch up with you as you sort of time run, and so that's explained why she can't. So she's basically limited to strictly fighting. And there is a scene later on, somewhere near the third act, when they're trying to make a break for it, and there's a nice fight scene between her and Ivanov. So that's one of our second big fight scenes. Basically, he's still a LMD that we know from season 4. So there's a fight scene with them near the end. And when we cut back to the base, Strucker Jr. finally figures out how the device works. So great, let's figure things out. And in between all that, too, there's a confrontation again with Ruby and Hale. And Hale's just like, no, oh, you wanted Daisy and, and Quake to do this. I thought I was going to be the one to do all this. And Hale's just like, no, I got my own plan. And then we find out that Ruby's almost as conniving as her mother, or worse, because she actually turns the table on her mother's by going like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Hey, Mom, what? Psych. And then throws her into the her old bedroom that she was actually, she was sort of like grounded and go to your room kind of thing. So then Ruby tricks her mom into staying behind it, and her and Strucker are going to, and there's the tie-in back to the A story, that they actually make their way back. And they find that the equipment has been broken, and then she shows up at the last second to threaten Simmons and tells Fitz, you better fix this machine, or I'm going to kill your girlfriend, kind of thing, or just kill. They don't know that they got married or anything like that, but still, gotta threaten somebody. And Fitz is like, okay, and that's how the episode ends. And in between all that as well, see, this one actually was a pretty good episode, but again, lots of stuff going on all the time. Because Deke got shot, and they don't have anybody. If anybody would have been Gemma, who would have been the one fixing him. But of course, they're not there, and they don't know where they went to, because they took off with their own plan. I still need just popped in my head now too. That's the one bad thing. They're supposed to be a team, but they don't act like a team. They haven't acted like a team since maybe season 3, or maybe with the Ghost Rider part of season 4. They maybe acted like a team, like we're all getting together, but this whole time too, it's always these, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. You're a team. Stay together as a team. You're stronger. I forget how the saying goes. You're stronger as a whole, but if you conquered and divided, then you become weak. So I think that's sort of the fault in this. I mean, they want to get so many things going all at the same time, sort of thing. But yeah, it's a little much. So to go back to sort of the middle part of the story, Deke got shot. What do? Well, we get him back to the lighthouse. And May says Piper was trained as a field medic. Well, she only knows certain things. And Mac's like, well, I know how to fix things. So with part of Piper's help with Mac, they actually are able to patch Deke back up and get him back to life, kind of thing. So, and then, oh yeah, and since hopefully everybody's seen it by now, because I gave you guys 48 hours, okay? Last week I gave you guys 24 hours before I posted my video. Cool trailer, and you may have to Google this, or I'll leave a link down below once everything's ready to rock and roll, that I can post this properly. Don't forget, it takes about 45 minutes from the time I go live till I'm able to update anything on this. I can put in tags. I can put in a description. I just can't put in end cards until about an hour later, and I can't put anything else. But I can fill out the descriptions, and once it's ready to go, then you can find all the information down below. This is sort of a trick which I haven't seen in a movie in a long time. They do the old what's called telephone. That was an old Charles Bronson movie from the 70s where Russian sleeper agents would get a phone call. They'd pick up the phone and they'd hear like many miles before you sleep kind of idea, and you know, the trigger thing. And I can't remember the last time if S.h.i.e.L.D. ever did the trigger sleeper agent thing at all, but it pops up every once in a while in spy movies or certain types of movies where, you know, oh, look, the sleeper agent, they'll say some elaborate saying, and the person will go like, yes, I will do what you say. And then, so I forget what the secret word was that they said that Talbot, basically he was able to get a phone call. Daisy said, he said to Daisy, oh, I got to talk to my wife, my kid, because they don't know what happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't know this whole time too. He just goes on, he's a wrecked man, he's been tortured, not realizing he's been brainwashed. So Daisy gives him a sat phone. Okay, I got a quick line. Found himself a bunch of satellites. You only got a couple of minutes. Call your wife. Calls the wife. Of course, when we cut back to the wife, it's one of Hale's aides. Tell her, okay, read this note. And she's reading this thing, word for word. And it's basically, it goes, and are you ready to work? I am ready to work, or whatever the catchphrase, and boom, roll the credits. And there has been a teaser trailer for next week already, and it's an image of Ruby in the chamber, screaming her head off. So I guess they got it fixed, and I guess we'll find out next week what happens to her. So I'm finding, actually, since they've been back from the future, with the exception, as I keep saying, with Rewind, that was my favorite. One of the future episodes was, Fitz coming to the rescue with Hunter, and with Enoch. Those were actually all good episodes, or just that one episode. But since they've been back, these episodes in the present day have been getting slightly better. There's still, I think, talk about season 6. I don't know, but as I said before, if we leave it off at this with a good ending and maybe some kind of a tie-in, there are people talking about, oh, is S.h.i.e.L.D. going to end up in the Infinity Wars? No. I have yet to see TV characters tied into the movie, but they have done the reverse. Like, you remember some of the episodes, like the end of Winter Soldier, and when the helicarriers are crashing, and one episode of S.h.i.e.L.D. S.h.i.e.L.D. does do a lot of tie-ins, like end of season 1, we brought in Nick Fury. I don't know if they brought him in again or not. No, they brought him in just the one time. They brought him at the end of the one episode, and he was in for the whole episode when they were taking on Bill Paxton when he went off the reservation, mentally and physically. And then they showed the helicarriers crashing into the Hudson, or wherever the Potomac. I'm not up on geography, but yeah. So they show stuff like that, but they've never done let's have our TV characters end up on an episode of or on a feature film in the MCU. I don't think it makes sense. It's just sort of like, at least they'll just tie in, well, here's the Marvel television guys, and here's the MCU. We'll sort of touch base a little bit, but I'm not going to go full in all the time. So yeah, I said not bad. So again, as always, I put it out to you guys. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were your thoughts on it? Don't forget, leave your comments down below about the episode. Again, if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a regular basis, and as always, I will see you in the next one.